ciao. Okay, what else? Can't think of anything else right now, but I don't know if I said Yasu or not, but welcome everyone. Thanks for staying with me with this live stream. It's the reason why that I wasn't live after that video stream there was the video cut out on me, and so I thought I was resuming live, but unfortunately it wasn't the case. So my sincere apologies for that. So let's get started. So before I went to Bogner's, I went to the Chevron Town Pantry. They're one of the sponsors that I get save on more points with when I buy gas or buy groceries or buy motor oil and stuff like that. And I go to buy the 2 bottles of motor oil. So I open up the hood and I go to pour the first bottle of oil, check the dipstick. It's barely above the add line. So I put the second bottle of oil in, checked it, I thought, I think that's good enough. So then I go for a little drive, and then I go to Bogner's for dinner. And after I left the Bogner's, the check engine light turned off. But the day before that, the check engine light came on, which meant running low on oil. And so I was going for a drive in the early hours of the morning on the Lakeshore Drive heading west. So I cut my trip short, and I drove by Bogner's. I usually do that just as a favor for them, and they didn't ask me to do it. So I do that, and I go home, and so that was that. So back to the Bogner's experience, which so I go into Bogner's and excuse me, got cobwebs in my throat. So I sit down, I have my usual coffee and ice water, and I get this what they call burrata, which is like a large version of a bruschetta on flatbread, and it came with mozzarella stuffed with ricotta cheese, and fresh mozzarella. That was a really big treat. I sincerely apologize about the shakes. It's my Parkinson's tremors going off, so I sincerely apologize if the video is shaking while I'm broadcasting right now. So, trying to get back to the Wagner's experience, for Unity House to have fresh mozzarella be outside the price range. And we at Unity House like to try and keep the price of our dinners at $4 per member, because the price of our dinners is subsidized to a certain degree by many of our sponsors, which we're very grateful for it, to Canadian Mental Health Association, South Okanagan's Similkameen branch. And I like to put a good word in for them here on live stream that's going to be recorded and archived. So yes, so I like to give a shout out to the CMHA SOS branch and staff and team for doing their very best to cater to our very specific tastes and stuff, and all that. Back to the Wagner's experience. Sometimes when my brain goes in different directions, it's hard to stay on topic, so thanks for your patience, everybody. So the next course comes along. So I get this Asian version of a grilled chicken breast strips, and I taste a bit of ginger in it. I like the ginger. Ginger's good. So when I take my dinner fork and I put it into the kimchi, which is a Korean dish, a very spicy fermented Korean dish. I put it in my mouth, and I knew it was going to be spicy, but I didn't know how intensely spicy it would be. So I go to take a bite, and I'm going, ooh, man, is that really intensely spicy? I enjoyed it, but boy, natural decongestant, then some, man. So I get through that. So I had the choice of chocolate zucchini cake or creme brulee. And I've had creme brulee so many times, it's not even funny. Which is basically egg custard and with white sugar browned. Me, I just call it creme anglaise and be done with it. I like the creme anglaise because I like the technical term, and I know it's custard. So before that remake, I said, why don't they just call it creme anglaise and be done with it? It's like, the way Jeannie the server at Wagner's explained it, she said custard. I'm like, it's like, why don't you say creme anglaise and be done with it? Like most diners wouldn't know what creme anglaise is, which is fine. Like, so everybody knows it's custard now. So it's like, but me, it's like, I already know it's custard, so just call it creme anglaise. It's like, I know what you're talking about. It's like, okay. So, and I basically expressed that thought. So I eat the chocolate zucchini cake, and I ate the mélange aux fruits, which is like the mixed fruit. well, it's mixed berries, but I call it the mélange aux fruits. Trust myself, James, to call it mélange aux fruits. Anyway, and I ate the vanilla bean ice cream. Everything was great. My hat's off to Chef Darren Patterson and his team at Bogner's Penticton Restaurant for an excellent execution of last Wednesday night's dinner. Very, very well done. Bravo. So after I paid my tab and left, which the final bill was $57.75 Canadian. So when I went to pay for the bill. The debit machine couldn't connect to the server. Like twice we tried it. Third time worked no problem. We didn't have to she didn't have to reset anything. So, and I usually like to give a very generous $20 tip. I started the $20 seed for God at Wagner's, so it may be more than the usual 15%, which is customary in a fine dining establishment such as Wagner's, but it's like, I look at it this way. I receive exceptional service. They get an excellent tip. And that's the way I feel about the subject. So the transaction went through, so it was all good. So I left Bogner's and I drove down to Fairview Mohawk on the corner of Duncan and Fairview Road, and pumped my gas. And it's very rare that I get on an even dollar value. So when the pump clicked off, I kept pumping, and when I saw $47, I thought I better stop. So it's like very rare I get right on the dot. Boy, I was pretty impressed with myself, pretty happy for sure. And I usually pay by debit, and I use my my Husky Rewards card through the pay at the pump terminal. So everything went good, and I got my receipt, and yeah, 40 liters of gas. That's like, wow, that's at $1.14.9 Canadian. So 114.9 cents. Jeez, it's gas is very expensive in Canada to buy. Very expensive in Canada to buy the gasoline these days. Almost call it gas, but mind you, it might be French for gas anyway. I could be wrong about that, but I am subject to correction, of course. So, the meeting with Pastor Brett that I alluded to on my announcement video on the rescheduling of this live stream session 2, I decided not to do a reminder video this time because it was just a technical difficulty due to the stream interruption, and so I thought it wasn't worth going to that expense of doing that for you folks. And so, and the thing I raised with Pastor Brett and Pastor Dave, Pastor Brett, by the way, is the new worship pastor at Bethel Church Penticton. Pastor Dave is the lead pastor of Bethel Church Penticton. So Pastor Dave talks to me privately and says, if you need help or some time off, I'll be able to help. In the back of my mind, I was thinking, you have enough responsibilities already. It's like I think you need more volunteers to do that work, and let the pastors lead the flock, and let them do what they do best. That's my opinion on the matter, but be that as it may. So because I've been doing the sermon podcast editing and uploading of the audio sermons ever since Pastor Darwin started pastoring the church as lead pastor. So that's quite a number of years now. And so between recording the audio sermons and recording the funerals and all that wonderful stuff. Of course, the funerals never get posted on the website, just the sermons, which is okay. I think that's the way it should be, because not everybody wants to watch or hear a funeral online, unless it's live streamed. Well, I don't mind my own funeral being live streamed. I'd rather as many people watch my funeral as I can, but mind you, having said that, most people wouldn't want me talking about it anyways, because it's like you're predicting your own early death. It's like, no, I have no intention of doing that, unless God has other plans, and hopefully God doesn't have other plans in that regard. I want to be one of those ones that are caught up in the clouds to meet Him in the air and be with the Lord forever, according to 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 in the Bible. Oh. That light bulb in my brain, when it starts going in the Holy Spirit, it's like, watch out. Anyway, for those of us who are religious, not everybody that watches me on live stream on all the platforms I broadcast on, whether it's live stream, Periscope, or Ustream, are of a religious type. So yes, two more items that I would like to discuss before I sign off for the night, and that is, I go to some websites, particularly BethelSarnia.com. So I go to their sermon archive page. I scroll down. It's like, I'm like, okay, they have a May 15th sermon up, and they don't have May 22nd up. So the week before they didn't have May 15th up. So I go to my Gmail account, in my Gmail app on my smartphone, email the media department and let them know that their sermon isn't posted on Vimeo and BethelSarnia.com. So today, I go to the same website. No, May 22nd, and this is Friday. Like, and with me personally, I usually get these audio sermons up on BethelChab.ca the same day if possible. And if I can't get them up on the same day, I either post a little message on Facebook and Twitter that I would be in the next day if it's not a statutory holiday, which is usually a Monday. If it's a statutory holiday, I come in on Tuesday and do it. But I've come to the point where it would be nice if I had a break once in a while. So it's because I've been doing it consistently for a number of years, as I mentioned, and it would be nice. And as great as our pastors are at Bethel Church, I believe that they have enough responsibilities on their plate, shepherding God's sheep right now, that to add audio podcast editing and uploading to their roles and responsibilities, I don't think it's fair to them. In my opinion, I just don't think it's fair to them. And it would be nice if we can get more volunteers to be alternates or relief volunteers. So if one of us on the media team gets sick, or we can't make it for any legitimate reason, someone's there at the ready to cover whenever possible and wherever possible. That would be the ideal, ultimate scenario in that case. But in my opinion, I don't feel it's fair to the pastoral team at Bethel Church that they do the audio podcast sermon editing and uploading, although it only takes between half hour 45 minutes if you know what you're doing on Audacity, which is the audio editing software that we use at the church. It's 30 to 45 minutes of Pastor Dave's time that could be better spent on preparing sermons, or counseling members and the community, or him going to the V's team and doing his chaplain work. Like, I really don't like wasting Pastor Dave's time. His time is like my time, very valuable, and I would like to try and not unduly make him do a whole bunch of stuff and especially when we're short of volunteers to start with. Which is a segue to this live streaming, which is my last item of the show here. Word of Life Hawaii has been doing a better job lately at getting their sermon videos online, because they were really behind on that, on some of those sermon videos on living beyond the box. It's like with their audio podcasts. When I go to my Feedly app on my smartphone, and it's like I go to Pastor Art and Kunis Sepulveda's RSS feed. It's there. It's like I'm impressed with that. It's just, and I completely understand that videos take longer to edit, and like I get that. But at least if you can, and I emphasize, if you can, try and get your content online the same day if possible, and don't leave it after 48 hours or 2 days. That's my recommendation, because after 48 hours or 2 days, your church office is going to start getting phone calls wondering where's the sermon, why is it not up on the website, and the church administration staff have to have an explanation for that. And with me, I usually get on social media when before that happens, so that I nip that complaint process in the bud, so to speak. Prevent the complaints coming in before they even start. And that's the way it should be. Try and keep your sermon audio and sermon video up. Try and do those edits and uploads the same day if you can. And that's all I'm asking from a Christian professional volunteer to everyone else that's doing the same thing I'm doing. So I'm moving the phone a lot, because sometimes I move the phone, and it's like my brain's like, my part of my face isn't on the screen, and so my apologies for that. So anyways, the last time I want to get to is actually the live streaming dream that I've been having for more than several years now. It started with when former worship pastor Mike Galev was on staff at Bethel Church Penticton. I had this dream of video cameras placed in strategic locations around the church building, particularly the sanctuary, and streaming that live service onto betheltab.ca, which hasn't happened yet, and I'm still disappointed to this day that hasn't happened. I was hoping that it would happen sooner than later, but it's just It's gotten to the point where it's not a priority. And sometimes I come to the conclusion that I'm not the priority, which may not necessarily be the truth, but that's the impression that I get of myself sometimes when I'm that disappointed about something that's I want it to happen, I expect it to happen, I'm waiting for it to happen, and it just doesn't happen. Like, I hate that when that happens. So I talked to Pastor Mike Gleb privately. I talked to Wayne McDougall privately about this. I talked to Pastor Darwin Pichette, the former lead pastor of Bethel Church Penticton, about this. And they're all on the same page. Problem being is we need money for the cameras. We need someone to train the volunteers to run the cameras, a live streaming computer, so that we can broadcast live to the internet the Sunday morning services. So it's not only a money issue, it's a volunteer resources issue. So, and like the church staff and church board are aware of this dream, and it's like it's not a priority right now. It's like sound system. The sound system had to be replaced. That's a higher priority, which is fine. But what about my dream? I'm like, God, what's going on with this dream of mine? It's like, is it dead yet? I'm like, my Lord. Anyway, so one day, Pastor Darwin gives me a ride home, and I expressed my deep disappointment that this live streaming project isn't going anywhere. And I was to the point where I felt like crying, quite frankly. Because I really wanted it for the people that can't come to church. There may be missionaries all around the world from our church that want to go to church but can't go to church because of their situation. And if they had access to internet and live streaming video, that'd be nice. I thought it was freezing again, but praise the Lord, it's still going. So, and not everybody can get in their cars and go to the church, especially people like me with mobility issues that have to have a cane or a wheelchair or a walker just to get around. It's not like I can go walk all the way from Scott Sunrise to church like I used to do. I used to be able to walk from Scott Sunrise here, where I'm broadcasting from, to Denny's and back, no problem. but now I can't do that anymore. My mobility is extremely challenged. So live streaming on betheltab.ca, get that /live going with the live streaming player. I'd be extremely content. I'd be very, very happy about that. If there's a way we can start raising funds. And that's the thing. I was giving towards that project and giving financially. Almost to the point of sacrificially giving. Like every paycheck I get, $50. I just kept giving $50 and kept giving $50. Every paycheck, $50. And it's like no live streaming, but new computer. The new Mac Mini, the cheapest Macintosh computer you can get, with two monitors for the sound room. Well, I thank the Lord for that. It's way better than the old Windows computer that crashed on me one Sunday morning with Windows 7 installed on it. I'm hoping they'll get rid of it soon, because all I've been doing with it is watching live streaming of other church services like Glad Tidings and the Sunlight Broadcasting Network and stuff, and it's not being used for anything else, because some of the peripherals aren't working anymore, like the headphone jack, the microphone jack, like the audio card on that computer is toast, and anything you buy at Walmart, like the computers there, it's like nothing's expandable, nothing is replaceable with these soldered in built-in chipsets and motherboards. It's like, and there's nothing wrong with them, but eventually when they start getting to the point where you have to replace them every year, or every 6 months, or every 2 years, or 5 years, or whenever, it becomes an issue where, in my case, I can't afford to replace a computer that a new computer nowadays can run you from a simple tablet, 200, possibly $200 and up to over $2,000-$3,000, depending on whether you're getting an Android tablet, or you're getting an iPad, or you're getting a touch screen Windows computer, or you're getting a MacBook Air or a MacBook Pro, or an iMac. It's like we're talking very serious money, ladies and gentlemen, for people like myself that are on disability pension. with me, like, I use my smartphone as a computer. I do my word processing with it. I do my live streaming like I'm doing now with it. I do slow this phone. I do file management with this phone. I'm constantly updating apps on this phone. So it's not like I'm just using it to phone people and receive calls and stuff. I'm chatting through text. Like I have Skype on my phone, so for video conferencing purposes. Google Hangouts, I can do video conferencing there too if I wanted to. So I'm hoping and I'm praying that this live video streaming dream of mine is still alive and it's still being considered by the church board of deacons at Bethel Penticton. I'm very desperate at the moment. Like I desperately would like to get this spearheaded, get it off the ground, and not talk about it anymore. I want action. A little less talk and a lot more action. Giving credit to Toby Keith, of course, who sings that song. So I think I've said enough for now. I would like to thank you all for bearing with me, being patient with all my rants, raves, compliments, complaints, and what have you on this remake of Livestream Session 2. And with that, I'd like to thank you all for watching right now, and I'll see you later. Merci pour regarder mon blog en direct et à bientôt. Satsrikal, namaste, namaskar, salam alaikum, shalom, adios, adio, yasu, au revoir, Wiedersehen, sayonara, je, swadika, swadika, and Dadiwal, thank you, and goodbye.